Hi, Louise. We're live.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our first Parent Involvement Committee meeting for the school year of 2023-2024. We're also excited to have you here and looking forward to a very productive and fun year where we can engage all of our communities together for the good of our students. I'm going to begin the meeting by reading the land acknowledgement. The Durham District School Board acknowledges that many Indigenous nations have long-standing relationships, both historic and modern, with the territories upon which our school board and schools are located. Today, this area is home to many Indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island. We acknowledge that the Durham region forms a part of the traditional and treaty territory of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, the Mississauga peoples, and the treaty territory of the Chippewas of Georgina Island First Nation. It is on these ancestral and treaty lands that we teach, learn, and live. And this is the Indigenous Rights and Human Rights Statement. The Durham District School Board recognizes Indigenous rights are distinct. In the exercise of those rights, Indigenous staff and students shall not be subjected to actions with the aim or effect of depriving those distinct rights. The Durham District School Board is committed to learning and working environments that center human rights and equity and are safe, welcoming, respectful, equitable, accessible, inclusive, and free from discrimination. So before we begin, we'd like to approve the agenda and minutes from our meeting from last year, May 30th, 2023. I believe everyone has a copy of those minutes that were sent out. Does anyone have anything that they would like changed or added to those minutes? You can unmute yourself or put it in the chat if need be. Since I don't see anything, can I have someone move to approve the minutes, please?
I approve.
Sorry, I can't see who just spoke.
It's Gerline.
Gerline, perfect. So we have a first. Can we have someone second that as well too, please?
I can second that for you, Huma.
Thank you, Patrick. Okay, and Patrick will second that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So I forgot one thing. I should have introduced myself. My name is Huma Chaudhry, and I am one of the co-chairs for the Parent Involvement Committee this year. Last year, I had the privilege of working with Jim Van Allen, who has now stepped down from the committee, and it was a pleasure to work with him. So we will be filling in the position of my co-chair soon. We would like to go around, though, and meet all of you again. We have some new faces, and we have some faces returning from last year. So, but I would first like to start with our superintendent, as we have a new superintendent this year. So Superintendent Thompson, would you like to start?
Absolutely, and welcome everybody. I'm so excited to be a part of this committee. My name is Candace Thompson. I'm a superintendent with the portfolio of family and community engagement. And I also have an FOS of Oshawa Schools, South Oshawa Schools of Eastdale, GL Roberts, and McLaughlin. So excited to meet with all of you as we spend time throughout the year. Thank you so much.
So I'm just going to go down from who I see in the gallery from top to bottom. So I'm going to start with Arsheli. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Okay, myself Arsheli, and I've been residing in Ontario, Canada since 2013, and I was born and raised in Pakistan. I'm a mother of 3 children, grade 9, grade 10, and the oldest one just finished his degree and working in the bank. And what I believe, like parent engagement, like is my top priority, because what I believe, like without parent engagement, like the vision cannot be developed and goals cannot be achieved. And do I need to share my background?
Well, it would be great if you could let us know what your home school is. Which schools are you attached with?
Eastdale CVI and McLaughlin, RS McLaughlin.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Archie. Next, I have Barry Bedford. And please do let me know if I mispronounced your name.
No, it's perfect. Pretty generic name here. My name is Barry Bedford. I am a parent of, I've got a son in grade 11 in a Whitby high school. I've been an educator for over 31 years. I know, shocking is what you're thinking. And currently I worked in Durham for many years, but I've been on another board for about 3 years now. So I'm looking forward to getting more involved with my son's education, despite the fact that he would like nothing more than for me to not to. So.
Thank you so much. Gerline, I have you as next.
Hi, my name is Gerline. This is my 3rd year on PIC, and I'm a very involved parent. I have 2 kids in an Oshawa school at Harmony Heights, in junior kindergarten and grade 1. I believe as a parent, I always feel like I should be in the know of what's going on, because schools are shaping my kids' future, and I should know what exactly is going on. And I would, more than that, I would also like to be part of good changes in the system. So I'm all for it, and I will like to stay connected throughout their schooling.
Thank you so much. Next, I have Carolyn Waters.
Hi, I'm Carolyn. I'm a vice principal in Oshawa, and I have been involved with PIC for a number of years as one of the staff representatives, and I've enjoyed being a part of the program subcommittee and the work that we've done in communities. So I'm happy to be back.
Thank you. Next, I have Patrick Semeister.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Patrick Simister. This is my third term on the PIC. First 2 years I was a parent, and then last year I joined as a DSB member. Previously, I have a long career in education itself, but this is my third year as part of DDSB. I am now employed at a South Oshawa school in DSB now. Yay. Looking forward to serving everyone here and looking forward to working with those who are new on the committee. Oh, and I'm a father of 2 amazing kids in a high school here in DSB as well.
Thank you very much. Next, I have Peter Aki.
Hello guys, how you guys doing? Peter, this is my second year on the PIC. Have 2 boys in the Durham region and 2 girls who are also working. One of the boys go to Dumbarton, where I serve as the co-chair, and the other one's at Maple Ridge. He's in grade 7, where I serve as the vice chair. And my kid in grade 12, he is always in grade 12. So yep, just parent engagement. That's why I'm here. So just glad to be back to support.
Uma, you're muted.
I'm so sorry. Nadia, I had you as next. Are you okay to speak now?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay,
Good
go
evening,
ahead.
everyone. I am Nadia Nemard Hunt. I'm Vice Principal in Oshawa, and this is my second year, and I look forward to working together.
Thank you so much. I have next Wasim Ali.
Hello, everyone. My name is Wasim. I live in Pickering. I have 3 children in the DDSB school system, 2 teenagers. This is my second year as a PIC member. Looking forward to working with everyone again this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I see Trustee Linton.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Stephen Linton, School Board Trustee for Pickering. And I guess this is my first full term, which is a wild and wonderful experience already. But happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I also see here Nadia Baby Khatab.
Hi there. My name is Nadia, and I am the high school teacher representative on the PIC committee. I teach at RS McLaughlin. I teach science and chemistry, and this is my second year on the PIC committee, and I really enjoy being a part of it and joining parents of the Durham board and seeing their perspective and having that connection.
Thank you so much. I believe the last person I see here is our SEAC rep, sorry. Sansa Renab, please correct me.
I'm your SEAC representative currently. This would be my third year, but as the term for SEAC representative is a 2-year term, we're putting it to the board to see if there's any interest in someone else becoming this role. I've been the SEAC rep for just under 10 years. I've been working in child development for 30 years, but my 2 children have aged out of school long ago. Glad to be here.
Thank you. So now that we've been able to meet you, I'm sorry, did I miss someone?
I just thought, well, in case people don't know who Louise is, I think
Louise,
we'll get her to introduce, because she's going to be an important person if you don't know her already.
Louise, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Louise Bucas. I'm the Administrative Secretary supporting Superintendent Thompson with the Parent Engagement Portfolio. So it's usually me that you'll see emails from the meeting agendas and scheduling, the subcommittees that we're going to discuss further on in the meeting, I'll be in all of those. Any questions or concerns that you have, you're more than welcome to connect with me directly.
And I'd like to add that without Louise, we would not look or sound as organized as we do. Now, moving forward, we do need to vote a co-chair for this year. And I believe we do have some names already submitted to Louise. We would also like to know today if there is anyone else that would like to run for that position. And then once we have everyone's names, we will give you all a chance to share why you are interested to the group, and we would have a limit of 2 minutes each, please. Is there anyone else that is interested who hasn't submitted their name yet? You could unmute or just put it in the chat. Louise, what names do you have on your list?
Yeah, I have Peter Aki, Arshi Ali, and who are both present, and then Angela Mastrangelo, who isn't here, it seems, for this evening. So at the minute, if both Peter and Arshi are still interested in speaking, and then anyone else that is interested as well.
So Arshi and Peter, are you both still interested? Yes. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you so much. So basically what we did is when it was my turn, we gave you the floor for 2 minutes to please share with us why you are interested in this role and how you would like to contribute. So I'm going to go in alphabetical order if you don't mind. And Arshi, we'll start with you if that's okay.
Oh, yes, absolutely okay. My background and experience and expertise in the area of parent council and engagement in the community. And I want to share that I served Grenoble Public School TDS in the capacities of parent representative of the Safe and Caring Committee for 4 years, and the chair of the Mental Health Committee as well for 1 year, and parent council member and a co-chair of parent council in the year of 2019 and 2020. I also served Valley Park Middle School TDSB in the capacity of co-chair of parent council in the year of 2021 and 2022, and the chair of the mental health committee. And I also served TDSB, a parent representative in the vice principal interviews for and served 2 terms. And currently I'm a member of Community Advisory Council, CAC, at Flemington and Thorncliffe, and I also served Malton Women Council in the capacity of Resiliency Community Support Ambassador. And I learned, the valuable insight and expertise. Currently, I'm engaged with a variety of community projects, such as I'm a parenting coach and a mentor at TRIAC and the Forum, the Women Initiative, to serve, the new immigrants to Canada. And also, by profession, I am a registered psychotherapist, a member of the College of Registered Psychotherapists of Ontario since 2018, and a member of Ontario Association of Mental Health Professionals since 2015. And I would like to contribute on the basis of my expertise and knowledge and my experience to serve parent community. And I'm also, I believe like I'm also a learner. Like this will be my new journey to learn something from you. This is all about me.
Thank you so much, Arshi. We appreciate that. Next, we'll move on to Peter.
Oh, good evening, folks. I'm just a parent trying to help out other parents. I'm parent of 4 here, but I find that I can contribute a lot from my experiences. And for lack of time, I've worked in both business and social service sectors now, and I've done literally everything from working with individuals with disabilities to mental health. Currently, I see the value of the SCC, and I've joined that committee approximately 10 years plus, and I've always been involved in some capacity, either as a co-chair or a chair or a vice chair, or literally just a person that's hands-on, that's trying to support the cause. And I've done right now several many different committees internally and external, including equity, an equity committee, even the equity committee here that I served on, and for one at my place of employment as well, joint health and safety committee as well. But more importantly, I also work with youth. I worked with homeless youth, street involved youth, and also with adults with barriers, because at the end of the day, one of the missing cogs has been the lack of parenting, because of course 70% of individuals in the shelter system where I worked is because of a broken home. So I really value the fact of being a parent. I'm honored and blessed to be one, and whatever skill set I can learn and give back to this committee and thenceforth, I will do that. And I have over 20 years of management experience as well, so I bring a sense of leadership to this committee as well. So I'm looking forward to working with you all, and I'm looking forward to working with you. And if it's my incumbent or my individual there, I'll be willing to work with the committee on a whole. So that's me. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much. So we have two great candidates. We are so lucky to have you both here. Now moving forward, we're gonna be putting this to a vote. Now, Louise, you're gonna be guiding us on this.
I'm going to try my best. I have just launched the poll. Please let me know if you can see it. There should be an option across the top of your screen that says polls if it hasn't popped up on its own. And you can go ahead and place your vote.
So for us, we'll abstain, right, Louise?
Yes, that's correct, I believe. Candice?
Okay.
I'm just doing a quick count to make sure we have everybody who has voted. We'll give it a few more seconds. I'm just doing a double check of numbers, and then we'll close the poll. Okay, so everybody has voted. Candice, do you want to read the results, or would you like me to share them?
Sorry, challenged unmuting. So very close.
Oh,
Peter?
sorry, we just have a raised hand. I just want to make sure there's nothing before we continue. Trustee Linton, did you have something?
Sorry, I just wanted to be clear. I'm not voting, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Correct.
Thank you.
Only those that were voting were able to access. So, and it shows that everybody has voted, which is great. And so, Peter, you have been successful candidate in the election with 45% of the votes.
Thank you both.
Very
Congratulations.
close. Very close. Thanks so much. Both excellent candidates. And I'm so glad that we have people coming forward to be able to take that role, because it is a very important one. And we look forward to working with everybody with that. Thanks.
And thank you very much for your nomination. I really appreciate it. I'll do my best to support Uma moving forward. So thank you so much. And thank to you as well, to Archie. Appreciate you as well.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Congratulations, Peter. So moving forward, we're both going to get to read the slides together and co-chair the meeting together, but I'm going to give you a break today. And I'll continue. And then for sure, next meeting, you get to take the reins with me. We're going to move on then and approve the proposed PIC meeting dates, which we will be having through the course of the year. Since this is our first meeting, it counts as one of the 5 dates that were chosen for the for our meetings throughout the year. We've listed November 15th, February 21st, April 17th, and May 22nd as potential meeting dates moving forward. And we wanted to check to see that they weren't conflicting with any major events, holidays, anything like that. So if you could please let us know. Either you could unmute or put it in the chat. We just want to make sure that everyone can be present and involved. I also wanted to just let everyone know that usually we have had, okay, perfect. So I'm getting some responses in the chat, a meeting in December. But this year we were thinking that after the November meeting, maybe December could be utilized as a month where subcommittees could meet, and then we could provide an update via email with slides or whatnot, because we know December is an event-heavy month when it comes to schools. SCCs have started and they may be in full swing, and people do travel. So we just wanted to double check if that was okay with all of you, if we skip over December and then we would meet in the new year. So I'm going to take everyone's silence as a yes, and that these dates are okay and approved, so that we can have someone. Okay, perfect. I got a thumbs up from Archie. I got a message. Okay, good. A thumbs up from Barry.
Gerline as well had her thumbs up.
Perfect. And Wasim also put a note in the chat. So will we need to have someone formally do a motion to approve?
I approve. This is Gerline.
Okay, perfect. So we'll have Gerline be the first, and can I have someone do a second as well, please? Perfect. We have Peter's hand there. Thank you so much. And Archie as well. So one of those, Louise, you can put down in our minutes. Thank you so much. And now we're going to move on to the Volunteer of Distinction ceremony, which will be taking place next week. Superintendent Thompson, do you want to share that with the details with everyone, please?
Absolutely. So Volunteer of Distinction has been going on for many years, but this is the first time it's been in person for many years. So lots of remembering and going back to see how it was kind of played out. It's taking place at Sinclair cafeteria. If you wish to come, I know that Louise sent out an invite to all of you. Feel free to attend. We have little spaces where people can help support. What will happen is we also have some little musical guests from across the region from different schools. We'll be doing very short, like a one song type of thing in between when we have our, so we go by region. So we'll have, starting with Ajax and moving through, and they will go and actually get a professional photograph done. And during that time, we have a little bit of a musical interlude so that they can come back and rejoin the ceremony in between. So lots of work that Louise has been working on in the background. We have some gifts and a certificate for all our volunteers, one from every school. Have had lots of participation this year. Hopefully everybody's going to be showing up. What time to arrive? I'll leave that to Louise to tell you. She's been kind of dealing with all our little volunteers everywhere. Louise?
I would say by around 6:30, we are asking our recipients and their guests to arrive around 6:45 because the ceremony is set to begin at 7. So if volunteers could arrive by 6:30, just so that we have like 10-15 minutes to be able to kind of advise the areas where we need support. It's kind of going to be quite fluid in terms of what that support may look like on the evening. But things like supporting our student volunteers who are going to help direct and guide the guests as they arrive, assisting in the music room where our musicians will be stationed when they're not performing, just small things like that, helping at the certificate table or the registration tables as people arrive. So anyone that can arrive, if they could come by 6:30, and then we'll find the areas where you can best support. And if there's any restrictions or limitations, we'll definitely work around those as well.
And so our trustees will be present on stage providing the awards to their area recipients. So it'll be, it's a nice affair, very heartwarming to see how many people come in and volunteer within our schools. And it's a great way to recognize them. Now, what's going to happen? This is another little piece. We're going to put out a survey at the end of it. and we're going to be surveying you as well as part of our committee. And we're going to be surveying some of our principals. We're finding that the October date isn't ideal. And part of that reason is the volunteers that are being recognized are actually from last year. So if they've moved on to another school, like a high school, sometimes it's, just a different type of a challenge coming back to receive an award. We're thinking of moving it into the spring sometime. We know it's also a busy time because if we go too late, there's graduations. We also have our student recognition night. So we have lots of people that are parts of those ceremonies that have evening commitments. But we're going to see if shifting it to a little bit later in the year means that those current volunteers get recognized in the year that they are actually volunteering. So that's something that's going to be coming out to you, just to give you a little bit of insight.
Also, this is the first ceremony after 3 years, I believe, right? Yeah, so it's going to be a big event. So we really do hope that as many of you can come out and support and gather with everyone who's being recognized. So now we're going to move on to the Durham Family and Cultural Center, with whom we were able to support a back-to-school event that they held this past August. We have a guest speaker with us today, Debbie Miles Sr., who is the Executive Director of the Durham Family and Cultural Center, who approached us last spring about supporting the event, which services many families that are part of the DDSB. I'm going to hand it over to Superintendent Thompson just for a few minutes. I have to turn off my camera and I'll be back. So go ahead, Superintendent.
So thank you. Thank you, Debbie, for coming to share what took place during that event and sharing back with the committee, because we know it's an important source of funds for you and the group of the students that you are servicing. So I'll just leave it to you to share the event of that day.
Yes, hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to come on to this platform. I must say again, thank you. Last year, we approached, I think it was Margaret. Yes, Margaret, and she agreed for us to come on to the platform to explain and ask for support. So Durham Family Cultural Center, we provide support and services to a Black and racialized community here in Durham region. We were intrigued with in the past how the board did their back to school event. The board was doing it every year, and as a parent, I attended and really enjoyed it. And so when we wanted to capture that with our event. So last year, we did our first back to school movie night event in the Pickering parking lot. So this was last year, and we had a lot more families registered than we anticipated, and our budget was very, very tiny. Last year, we had 400 families, individuals, children registered. And so the idea was just to allow parents to have that one last chance with their kids to have some fun, put down the electronics, and do a lot of games such as hula hoop, just fun games to get really families and kids engaged. So that was last year, and it was quite successful from the feedback we got. And so this year, we came onto the platform and asked if we can have the support for the committee to provide some financial support. And the question was asked, how much are you asking for? And I was honest, I think we asked for 5,000. I believe that was what we asked for. And we were fortunate we got the 5,000. Thank you so much. That 5,000 really helped provide the meal, because we wanted to provide meal to our families. Because last year what was missing was a lot of family left because we couldn't afford to feed families. And as you know, food insecurity here, food is expensive, right? And so we really wanted a chance to do that this year. So this year we held it at Pickering High School in the parking lot. and it was held on August 26th from 4 to 8. We had approximately 450 families who registered, individuals, families, children who registered. We had donations, and we also had, part of it was that we wanted families to get ready for back to school. So we had our student family advocate, Nicholas, who and Erica are together. We are program facilitator, who provided families with tips of just how to get your kids ready for school, what, some of the questions to ask when they go back to school. We were fortunate, we were also glad we had Patrice Barnes, who regularly attends and support our events. And so she came out this year. We were still short, but we made do with what we had. One of the challenge, it was successful because despite it rained halfway through the event, but we still had over 150 families and children who came out and participated, and we had vendors. So this year, what we try to do is that we charge vendors to come out to distribute their products and things like that. And the funds that we got from the vendors, it's going towards our family or cultural basket that we try to do to give families each year, so that family over the holidays can have food that is culturally relevant. So we started that 2 years ago. And so this also gave us an opportunity to put some funds, not much, but enough to start building that. So thank you. The event was really, the event was a very good, it was a lesson we hired through the student summer employment program. We hired Janine, who I know Uma and a couple of other members here. We had lots of conversation and you were quite supportive. Thank you. Janine went back to university, but she did a great job. And so one of the things that was really, really good to see, and we also have it posted on our Instagram, was Janine put a lot of work in doing this event and a lot of begging and a lot of donations and planning it. And halfway through the day, it rained, and that discouraged a lot. And I think she was discouraged, but what was really powerful was that we had the community, and the community still came out and says, what can we do? And they still enjoyed it. And Patrice had a chance to really say, it's okay, you planned it and it occurred, and families and the kids enjoyed it. And we had tons of student volunteers who just enjoyed it themselves, and parents got the information that they needed. So I really just wanted to just say again, thank you for allowing us to really create this opportunity for parents and for our organization once more. I think we will be asking for it again next year. And so it was really, really, really a good event. And as I said, we drew it from what you guys did a couple of years ago, and thought when you stopped doing it after COVID, I guess it was, we thought, how would it be if we do this and make it a lot more culturally inclusive, and a lot more activities that were more basic activities that parents really had a chance, egg racing and things like that, or that parents really and their kids enjoyed. So thank you so much for that. So any questions?
Yeah, so I was going to ask, thank you so much. And if there's any questions anybody has.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Nadia.
I'm wondering if you could share with us some of the services that you provide directly, if there are those services for schools, in terms of supporting the community.
Sure. So we, most of our funding comes from federal and the municipality level. We have, and some of you already probably have had contact because we had an MOU with the school board. We have our student family advocate, who's Nicholas Barham. Nicholas helps support families and helping them navigate through the school system to have the best outcome for their children. And so if there is, one of the things that is always sometimes a breakdown between the school and parents is the communication. And so Nicholas' role is to also come into the school and help support that and provide the teachers with resources of how to best communicate culturally. One of the things that we've been fortunate to have in this funding stream is that if there's parents, our focus a lot this year is if there's parents who their child has been identified, but don't want to do the assessment through the school board or need the support, we have a small funding for families who we can help financially support that if a family would like to have their son or daughter get an psychoeducational assessment. So we're able to provide that. We also have our Together We Are program that provide parent and culturally relevant programming for parents and children. We run it in a couple of the schools. We have our youth, we have a youth department. We're trying to get into Oshawa because we find that there's a lot of need. We always seem to focus on Ajax and Pickering. But we have a program called Address Your Crown, which really help Black girls or racialized girls to really around identity. We also have I'm going to miss a letter, or LGBTQ plus programming for youth also. And we also provide also some mental health stuff around kids, how, now coming out of COVID and school and adjusting, and mental health support. And we provide that. We also, I think there's a school that we usually go into once a week. I can't remember the name. So we have a wide range of services and support that we do for student and also for parents. And we provide counseling for families too. Yes. And the website is Durham Family Cultural Center. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Debbie. And having worked with Nicholas a few times, he's wonderful to work with. Absolutely wonderful.
Glad.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So now we're going to move on and discuss the subcommittees that the PIC has had in the past, and what the focus was for those committees and where we would like to go moving forward. So what we have listed is 3 areas. The first is the PIC communications, which consists of social media, website, which is something that we have people from the board that work on that. But the material is what obviously the PIC produces when it comes to our events and whatnot. And then we have a newsletter. Yes, Louise, there are more on the next page, so sorry. But these are the 3 first that we'll go over. And there's a newsletter that all of us can contribute to, but there was a committee that worked on it last year, which went out, and it's supposed to reach all of the schools through their SCCs and through the administration. So that's one of the committees. The second is a speaker series, which plays off of the parent engagement series that we had last year, and also the symposium that we had last year. So the thought behind it this year is maybe to change the format, and instead of having one big symposium at the end of the year, to maybe have larger events, either throughout the region or at the board office, depending on how this committee wants to move forward. And it was suggested to have it virtual or hybrid or in person. And the presentation could even be taped so that, for instance, if there's a community that couldn't get together on a certain date, they would still be able to benefit later on. And it wouldn't be so, we wouldn't be stuck. It would make it accessible, and more people would benefit in that regard. The other one that we have listed is the programs. Yes, go ahead, Superintendent Thompson.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about the speaker series, because I know that there was some conversation from what I'm hearing from last year about thinking about that larger event. And when you did the in-person, the number of people that showed up was a lot less than expected, really a lot less than expected. And the amount of money that went into that in-person event might not have seen its work out with respect to the number that came. The other question I had, and Uma asked me to look into, was the regional events that had occurred previous to COVID. And I wanted to share that because I didn't actually have a chance, Uma, to talk to you about it. So the regional events, what it seems to be historically that had occurred is our regional events, kind of like the symposium, was actually a regional event it was held at the DDSB board office, and a principal and an SCC rep from their school were invited to that regional meeting. Often it was the chair who came with the principal. There would be a guest speaker, and then there'd be some breakout sessions. And those were based on trying to help support engagement at a school. There was ones around fundraising, some schools coming to sharing some of their pieces, or board staff member doing some little workshops, talking about literacy nights or numeracy nights, and being able to share how some of the pieces to engage community back into the school from the perspective of an SEC. So when COVID happened, it went to the speaker series, which was just put out to parents instead of those regional meetings. So before, there were the regional events, but not the big speaker series. So they were called, yes, regional SEC meetings. And then it got flipped to the speaker series. So there's a way of maybe doing a bit of both. We can't do it all. I'm just letting you know I don't have the budget to do it all. We can't do the whole speaker series and being able to pay. Speakers, by the way, are getting very, very pricey. And I think that might have been brought up last year. And you sometimes want your local people, yes, but you also want people coming in from other areas that's giving you a little bit of a different lens. So just wanted to throw that out there too, that we could kind of do a combo of maybe one of the regional SEC meetings and some of the bigger virtual symposium type pieces, or I'm just going to throw that out there as some ideas for discussion.
Thank you. There's also a question that was posed, which was asking, is that what the regional SEC was?
Yes, absolutely. That was the regional SEC. So it was held at the board. Those were the regional meetings. There was conversation of how they might host that regional SEC meeting, not always at the board, but moving to some of the other areas and hosting it. Can have some different challenges with respect to transportation or being able to access. The board office is pretty centralized, and people tend to want to go there sometimes. But that was just another idea that had come up as well.
Thank you. As I'm going through these subcommittees, though, please take note of what interests you, and you are not confined to one. You can definitely be on more than one committee. So please keep track of that, because then Louise is going to be sending out communication to everyone so that we can then find out quickly who is interested in what and then get the work started. Now, programs. Programs is the third one listed, which is the funding that SECs can utilize for events at their school to help connect and benefit within their committee, within their school communities. So it's coming up soon, actually, the application for the programs. Last year was also a very much an educational year where we had sessions throughout the year that were educating SECs and their executives on what different things were regarding how to function. So programs was one of them. We had an information session that is taped and that can be accessed by the SECs again this year, helping them understand what's a program, how they can apply, and how to use it. So the applications are coming out soon, so we really need a committee to jump on that. Louise, just put the next slide as well too, please. Perfect. Number 4, engaging our diverse community. So as we've seen, especially since the COVID era has hit us, there's been an influx of families in Durham region when it comes to people moving in due to the cost of housing, and newcomers have been also settling within our region, and that has very much diversified the student population and the parents and guardians that go with them. So we had a committee that we had a lot of members bring up this point that we need to engage with them. Last year, our superintendent gave us examples in which she herself was also engaging with these communities. So this committee would be looking at how can we now continue that work and where we would like to focus this year. And the last one is school community councils. So last year, when we were reaching out and speaking with the different SCCs, and as they were becoming sending in their program applications, or we were meeting with them in person, a lot of them were speaking about they need information sessions, which we did have and which are taped and they can access again this year. They've been asking about the SCC handbook, which is in the midst of being revised. The human rights presentation. So we have documentation now that has been released by the board to the schools, which now has to be filtered down to our parents and guardians when it comes to the human rights, just documentation and policies that the board will be now following as they move forward. So how do we communicate that and make it accessible? A lot of the SCCs are saying we want to connect from community to community, region to region, city to city. So there's been a suggestion of restarting the regional SCCs. So this committee could look at that and think about how to implement that this year. And there's also been discussion about having a volunteer handbook for schools. So when you have volunteers that want to come in and give their time to your community, there should be something there to provide direction. And it should be something that's consistent from school to school, community to community, so that everyone is on the same page in this regard. So these are the 5 areas that we would like to have committees focusing upon. And now, Louise, how would you like communication to be sent in? Should we do it here in the meeting, or would you like this to be done afterwards?
What I'll do is I'll send out the meeting minutes tomorrow morning to everybody as a recap. And then if people could just reply to that email to me to show which committees, any number of them that you're interested in participating in. And then those people will be included in the meeting invitations for the kickoff meetings in the next couple of weeks.
Perfect. But I don't want to jump the gun. I also do want to ask all of you, what do you think of these subcommittees? Is there anything you'd like to add, take away? This is coming off of how we ended the year last year, and we have many new faces and a lot has transpired over the last few months. So please do let us know how you feel about what you've seen. Feel free to unmute or put it in the chat.
Just a question about the back to school event. I know several years ago, prior to COVID, of course, the board had a barbecue. I believe it was called Back to School sort of barbecue, and there were community members that would gather and kind of get connected. And through the lens of, what you mentioned about the demographic changing and so forth, if that is something or similar that we could also look into.
So Nadia, that was done through operations at the board. So it wasn't actually done through this department. And it is a big price tag on that. And so I don't have the answer, but I certainly can ask the question about that type of a startup to the school. I'm also thinking, as I listened to Debbie speak about their event, it would be a great idea to have some more DDSB representation there, with maybe some, even we do it for different events, to just provide some different information and supports for families and for students and kids. So that's also something we can look at, which we had set up some of those pieces for departments at that back to school barbecue. And if there are other areas having similar type events, maybe being a bit strategic. So I'll bring that back to the senior team. Very good points, Nadia. And also remember, those are the overall headings and some of the conversation points that were probably happening last year. And once you get into those committees, there might be other things come up, and there'll be somebody who'll be asked to chair that committee at that time. But there's some other pieces in there, like the volunteer handbook. That will be based on some policy. So where it lands here at School Community Council may be more of an operational piece. So just throwing out that some of the things may not land where they're just on these as ideas that are being kind of brainstormed along the way.
Exactly. And like, for instance, the Engaging Our Diverse Community Committee came from just discussion with an experience that a teacher had in her school. There was a newcomer that was present in the school, but I guess went under the radar. And in the winter months, that's when they realized, oh, this person's present. They're not.
We lost you a bit there, Uma. So, but I think what you're saying is some of that information came from individuals bringing forth some of the experiences of their school. And yeah, and there's even some more people that I know aren't here today, some of our DDSB people who were interested in being a part of that committee as well. So there'll be even more people interested.
And yeah, oh, sorry, yeah, I do agree with you, Candice, regarding the representation. Yeah, I going to the event, the family event back in August. I actually ended up taking my whole family there, so it was quite well. Unfortunately, it was rained out, so I did share some ideas or thoughts about how it could be effectively more marketed, because we did have some folks was inquiring about what was happening. But my question, I guess, or comment was, I believe last year there was an equity committee, and something to do with equity and inclusion, and they were looking at human rights and stuff like that. And I don't see that here. So I'm just wondering if that can that roll up into the engaging of diverse community, or is that somewhere else? I'm not quite sure.
That's exactly what it is, Peter. That piece falls within there. It's just the naming of it, engaging our diverse community, just allowed a broader umbrella of what we can do within that subcommittee. But that's exactly where that piece falls as well.
No, that's fine. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for clarification.
Thank you, Louise. Thank you, Peter. Gerline, go ahead.
My question was just that last year, I think we worked on updating the handbook, the SEC handbook. I was wondering if the new SECs this year already have access to those yet?
Gerline, good piece to bring up. And it came to me that I know that you were working on it then, and it actually was being worked on over the summer, but there was a couple of policies that are currently being updated, one of which is the fundraising. And so we found that we couldn't actually update some of those pieces until those kind of documents are done. And then I was noticing a few other inconsistencies between some of the policy documents and the handbook. So with a group, we're going to be going over that with a little bit more of a fine-tooth comb. But beyond just the handbook, we're also, Louise is starting to have a Google Drive with some of the different access for SEC chairs to be able to grab some documents from it. We're also creating a specialized course for administrators that can support them in their collaboration with their chair of guiding them through an SEC. So that will be also in our DDSB platform for them. But the links to some of those documents, SEC chairs are also going to have access to. So we're trying to organize things so they're easy to find and provide a little extra support for all SECs.
Thank you. That's great.
They'll also include those videos we were talking about too, some of the videos around bylaws, one around finances, some pieces that dependent and on demand for an SEC. So the SEC can have it when they need it, right?
Thank you for those clarifications. Are there any other questions or comments? So then what we'll do is moving forward, Louise will be sending out the communication to all of you. So please do fill that out as soon as possible. And again, you are more than welcome to be a part of as many committees as you wish, because the more the merrier, and there's going to be a lot that we want to get done this year. So I believe that's about it. Thank you so much to everyone for coming out today. Really appreciate it. It was so nice to meet you all virtually. Our next meeting will be on Wednesday, November 15th. At 6:30 p.m. the same time, and we hope to look forward, and I look forward to seeing you then.
And because Peter has taken on the role of co-chair, we will be adding someone new to the committee that will take on the region for you, Peter. And then We actually have one space still unfilled, and that is the North Elementary. So we've been trying to reach out to some of our SCCs there. If you happen to know any parents in the North that is from the elementary panel versus the secondary panel who might be interested in joining our committee, please reach out to them and ask them to connect with Louise, just with a little bit of the same information we ask from everybody, why they want to be a part of it and who they are and some of their background details. But so we kind of have two spaces that we still need to fill as a result of that. I think, Peter, we do have some people, when we did a general reach out. So we got for different areas that we weren't actually looking for yet because we didn't know who was going to come into that role of co-chair. So we have some people that we've kept a list of people interested in joining our committee.
Okay, all right, no problem. And I'm sure at some point, I don't know how this works. You have to help. I'm sorry. I guess I'll meet with you, Uma, to kind of.
Yes, we will. We will meet, Peter. Don't worry. We're going to meet together with Louise, and that's how we're going to set our agendas, and we'll have that discussion before the next meeting.
You are awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great night, and we'll see you on the 15th.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.